Hi, welcome to Pretty Truth. The truth isn't always pretty, but it's always the truth. So, after surviving COVID, that was my last video, I decided, okay, I need to get healthy. And so I looked into doing the eating for your blood type diet. And to do that, you have to know your blood type. And believe it or not, all of uh, the gallons of blood that they took from me in the hospital, um, they never knew my blood type. I guess you have to have a special test for that. And unless you're going to have a surgery, they don't test your blood type. And I've never had a surgery, so I didn't know what it was. So I get out of the hospital, and a friend of mine, we decided we're going to do this diet, and we need to find out what our blood type is. So he sent off for the little, finger prick test, whatever. You find out in like 5 minutes what, I was going to say what sign you are. That'd be funny too. What blood type you are. And I'm an A. Now, I am of Germanic heritage, mostly German, and I was surprised because usually Scandinavians have O, blood type O. But I was reading that I guess Germans, it's kind of split down the middle, like O's and A's. So I've got an A. So I wasn't even thinking anything about COVID, nothing. So I just started, kind of like researching online what I'm supposed to be eating and what I'm not supposed to be eating. And surprisingly, a little segue here, a little non sequitur, but I already kind of eat that way. I don't know. It's weird. Of course, I probably eat too much, and I do eat a lot. Drink a lot of sodas. So whatever. Anyway, so I was like, no, I thought it was going to be like this, massive reveal of, oh, all of these foods you're eating are wrong. But I was like, oh, I pretty much eat that way. Anyway, so I start looking online, trying to find out, what foods I'm supposed to be eating, blah, blah, blah. So I come across this article about COVID and blood types. And lo and behold, it says that in this little article, it said that people with type O rarely get COVID, and if they do, they get a pretty mild form of it. You hear about all these people like who get COVID and sit on the couch for a couple days and take NyQuil and they're fine, and then dumbasses like me get it and fucking almost freaking like crumble and die. It's crazy. So apparently, people with type O rarely get COVID, and if they do, they get a mild form. And right underneath that sentence was the fact that type A gets it very easily, usually needs to be hospitalized, and needs to be on a ventilator. Oh, what great. Oh, that sounds about my luck. So, anyway, so then, because I'm a nerd like that, where I have to research and find out more things, it's like I have to know. I must know how things work and why things are and what the origin of things are. Like, I can't help myself. So I start researching all this, and then the other blood type. Now, not just this article, but in my research, I found out that type B also has a problem with COVID, like very COVID receptive. So now the German thing. Lots of Germans have type A, but also type A is like the most common blood type worldwide. And then B is the most common in Asians. I'm just like, wow. So O's and ABs don't get it as often, don't get it as bad. A's and B's get it horrendously, and those are the most common blood types. And I just thought that it was also pretty sinister because, me and my conspiracy theories that usually turn out to be true, by the way. I talk a lot of shit, and a lot of shit that I talk ends up coming to pass. So I just thought that it was pretty sinister. I would say ironic, but now, come on. It's sinister that type B, this virus, whatever is created in China and spread throughout, Asia, India, blah, 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 until it got here. But it starts there with the population of mostly bees and wipes people out, And then the other most common blood type A, which is worldwide, then it wipes us out, damn near. So, you know what I'm saying? So, here's my theory. And of course, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. Still haven't Christmas tree up. Only because it's pink. And if it were green, it would have been down probably a month ago. I do not have a lab. I have a rice cooker and a crock pot, but I don't have a professional lab to prove any of my theories. But I got this, and I've got my heart too. Your heart is your soul, whatever. And, when you just know things to be a certain way, I think that this virus, and I like calling it a virus because the word virus kind of insinuates massive spread. So technically I should be calling it a biological weapon because it is. And calling it a virus makes it sound like, something natural that you picked up, and it's not. But I'm still going to refer to it as a virus because the spread of it has been so quick. And, we've always heard of massive pandemics. Obviously, the Black Plague. We all learned about that in school, and, the spread of it was so quick. But also, you have to remember, the world was pretty small back then, or I should say the world was big, but the population was small. So, it wasn't like the Black Plague spread to 7.5 billion people like COVID did. It probably spread, I don't know. No, I haven't researched this, but we're probably talking about millions of people were on the earth at that point. Maybe even not millions, or maybe a couple million, who knows. But, and, it wasn't like, and of course there wasn't international travel either. But still, my point is the spread of this virus was way too quick, in my opinion. And to have not been helped somehow by sinister human beings. So that's part of it that I don't believe that, it's just going to spread so quick naturally. No. And why would it affect certain blood types? Why would that even be a factor? But when you're dealing with blood and you're dealing with DNA, it is super easy for someone who knows what to do, not somebody like me with a rice cooker, but some scientist has been at this for, an entire career, a 25 tenure, manipulating DNA, sure, it's probably easy. So what a perfect way, if that was the goal, to annihilate humanity, what a perfect way to do it, by blood type. Now, here's where I get really cuckoo, and, you'll just have to bear with me. Do your own research, if you think that I'm nuts, then instead of being like, she's nuts, take a couple hours this week when you are laying in bed before you are about to, check your social media to see if your picture got enough likes. Just go online real quick and research some of the stuff that I say. You might come up with something too, and if you do, please put it in the comments. So, I think that, what I was going to say is, so, the rulers of this world, people in the media, I'm not talking about your local, sports dude on your local news station necessarily, or government wise, your mayor. I'm not talking about that, but I am talking about high level media, high level politicians, high level, bankers. They say that there's only 12 families that run Earth. Once again, I can't prove it with my rice cooker. But they all mostly have type O blood type. O negative, by the way. That's a little something you ought to research for yourself. You might be shocked at some stuff. Of course, the conspiracy theories, while everyone is vying to try to find answers, which is great, but conspiracy theories that get a little bit too far out there, a little bit too outlandish, they kind of, they discredit real things and real research. So all I ask is that you not just ignore a conspiracy theory or a conspiracy theorist. Take a minute and think about what we are saying and go and figure it out for yourself. And, because that's the only, I cannot, I have a 9-to-5 job. I cannot research everything in the world and come up with all the answers, put them on this channel and give you everything that you need to know. I mean, even if I'm right about the stuff that I do talk about, there's a bajillion things out there I don't have time to figure out or prove. So every one of us needs to be researching things and find out the answer and find out who's responsible for this, And, we're all, of course, now the other thing that I find weird is everybody has just kind of forgotten about the fact that a lab in China that our own government officials have visited, like in a fun sort of, hey, what's up, guys, kind of way. Not visited like, SEAL Team 6 with high-powered night vision goggles to find out what they're doing. I mean, literally, like our politicians, I won't name them, but they have visited, like, been invited and welcomed, and that's weird too. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. But we all seem to have forgotten or don't give a shit anymore that a lab in another country that is highly socialist and communist, who don't like us, by the way, sat around and had the funding to come up with a worldwide pandemic viral material that has now killed vast numbers of people. Like, that should be, instead of talking about make sure to put your mask on, it should say, hey, make sure to put your mask on. Oh, and by the way, don't forget that what happened in China, we've got to find out who's responsible. Like, nobody gives a flying fuck about finding out who's responsible. And now, me personally, do I think it was just a couple of scientists on their own, or of course not, or a complete team of scientists, funded by the Chinese government to fuck with other countries? Yeah, that's more likely. But still, that's just not enough to come up, and not enough time. So I believe that they have been, here's what I believe. I believe all of these Asian flus that have come out, they come out every 10 years or so. I believe that those were test runs. Those were practice viruses. And, I said in my other video, I said, shit, maybe COVID, they keep calling it coronavirus, which is just fucking not. There's no way it's coronavirus. Come on. Saying COVID is coronavirus is like saying eating bacteria is just athlete's foot. No, it is not coronavirus, but I did say that maybe it's got coronavirus in it, and maybe it's got SARS, and maybe it's got MERS, and maybe it's got Ebola. I mean, who knows? It could be a cocktail of, deadly weaponized viruses. So, nobody really seems to give much of a fuck anymore about finding out why this happened, you know? I mean, if we don't find out why this happened, it's going to happen again. And listen, let me tell you something else about all these variants. Listen, viruses don't work that way. Viruses survive inside of a viable host or to be spread quickly to another viable host. So that's how, it keeps going. So the reason why you have to, although I don't really believe, or I shouldn't say believe, I gotta be careful with my nomenclature here, because when I say believe, that means that's a trigger for you to know that I'm about to spin some shit on you about what's real and what isn't. But I do not feel the need to have a flu shot every year. I don't, if you want to, by all means, go for it. But the reason why we need to get a new flu shot every year is because when that flu virus is active in the population and then people start to get well, it's not going to reinfect that person again, that same person. So it's running out of host. And then the other thing is that always happens in the winter time when your temperature is automatically lower. So as the weather warms up, and you'll notice that like in the northern hemisphere, we'll have flu season, and then the southern hemisphere will get it. Their winter is our summer. So as we go into summer, our temperature heats up, and viruses and bacteria can't live in certain temperatures. That's why your body gets a fever, to fight off a bacteria or a virus. And so the reason why, sorry, I get off on tangents. So when you get your flu shot, it's for that strain for that year, because that strain eventually has to mutate because it's running out of hosts. And also it's running out of hosts for two reasons. One, because that host has already been infected and gotten recover from it, or other hosts aren't, our temperatures are too high for it to survive, to make us actually really sick. So that virus will have to mutate into a variant. So the following year, a little stronger, because it's trying to survive. Because you have to think, a virus is just like a person. It's a little mini person that makes you sick as hell and tries to kill you. Little mini murderers. So the next year, when you get another flu shot, you're not going to get the same flu shot that you got last year. Well, unless they fuck up. But you know what I'm saying? Like, the point is for you to get the brand new variant strain flu shot for that new thing, because that virus is now mutated. So what I'm saying with COVID is it's not needing to mutate, because we all keep getting it. It just keeps spreading and spreading and spreading and spreading and spreading. It's not like it gets to somebody and then can't jump to another host, and then would have to mutate to get stronger, to survive, to find another host. Like, it's not having to do that because everybody's getting it. So I think that there's no need naturally for this. If it was a natural virus, it wouldn't mutate like this. It would mutate maybe one time to survive until it gets another round of hosts. But I mean, what do we have, variant every 48 hours here now? Come on. I'm not saying that those variants are okay. So now here I'm going to use the word believe. So every time I say I don't believe, that means sit back, you're ready to hear some of my bullshit and tell you how things really are. So I believe that either two things are happening. I either believe that the variants don't exist and it's just a scare tactic to get us all to go rush out and get vaccinated again and again, and a booster and another booster and another booster and another vaccine. So I think it's for that, on a money level, because, follow the money. Money is the root of all evil. And these people who rule our world, they sure do love money, don't they? Or the the variants are real and they're being scientifically fucked with. And if the evil people who rule our world are as evil as I believe they are, it's probably a combination of both. When, in war or even, a football game, if you attack your enemy or, whoever your opponent is from all sides, you're going to win that game or that war a lot easier and a lot quicker instead of just doing one thing. And then if that doesn't work, then change to the other thing. Oh, that didn't work. And they go, no, you just, boom, you just fucking, blitzkrieg them, So that is what I think is going on. So the purpose of this video, 30 minutes later, was actually just to talk about the blood type scenario that they specifically targeted the most common blood types. So the whole entire Asian population from Asia now, not necessarily as Asians have migrated to other countries and, what I said about we all fuck each other till we're the same color or the same race, but people who are technically full on 100% Asian, have born, bred, raised, live forever in an Asian country or that part of the world, mostly B's blood type, and then A's seem to be kind of just dispersed all over the earth. So what a perfect poison. And, I could be, grasping for straws trying to figure it all out. And, if I find something that I think, believe, or have found to be true, but somehow twist, I will let you know, because, we need to find the truth. If we just have conspiracy theories that are just so outlandish that don't make any sense, that's not going to help. If we have outlandish conspiracy theories that actually are true, but we choose to ignore them because they're too weird, they're too scary, we can't even wrap our brains around it, we just ignore that shit, that doesn't help either. And just ignoring the whole thing, and everybody, buying more hand sanitizers instead of trying to figure out who the fuckers are that fucking created this bioweapon and doing something about that, put your hand sanitizer on while you figure that out. You know what I'm saying? One last thing about hand sanitizer. So, I told you that only my boss and then his wife were the only people in my life who got COVID. Aside from all the other people that are around, like on a personal level. Like my boss had never even been to my apartment, but yet my friends were here every day before I got sick. We hung out constantly, had a roommate, like all this other stuff, right? And so, they're just like, you could cut the COVID with a knife in this place, and they didn't get sick. You know what I'm saying? So, if you want to wear a mask, you want to put on hand sanitizer all day, by all means, please take your vitamin C, D, zinc, and what was the other one? I think there was like 4 things that actually are pretty good about, keeping your immunity up. So by all means. But I just think that I don't know if COVID is really being spread like a normal regular virus would be, or a bacteria. I just don't know. I'm not going to say I believe because I'm not sure about that. But one last thing. Everybody was so quick to go buy up all the hand sanitizer. Buy it all up to make sure that nobody else got any, by the way, because that's how fucking fucked off people are, when a tragedy happens. People buying up toilet paper, like, that's fucked up. I did not do that. Yes, I bought a little bit more toilet paper than I normally would, but I did not go fucking, vacuum up everything I could so nobody else got any. That'll be another video. But everybody, got the hand sanitizer and they wore the mask, and people wearing masks in their car by themselves. But don't get me started. That's fucking weird. You think I'm weird. But Why did nobody wear gloves? A deadly pandemic? Sorry. I swear, every time I cough, I swear I don't have COVID again. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you imagine? I know I always say that. So, my question is, for the deadliest pandemic in our lifetimes, I mean, pretty much everyone on Earth, I don't care if you're 100 years old. Oh, God rest your soul, Betty White. I don't care if you are 100 years old or born yesterday. This is literally everyone on Earth right now. This is our deadliest pandemic. We've never been through anything like this. No, even anybody who's 100 years old has never been through anything like this. Yeah, we've had Asian flus and we had Ebola and obviously AIDS. Yes, I mean, that was, that was pretty close. But still, it wasn't that you thought that if you went to Walmart, you were going to get AIDS that day, like this has been. So I just find it pretty weird and kind of stupid with human beings that people weren't wearing gloves. Like, really? Really? I just thought that was a little bit weird. But, hey, maybe we should ask the people that are driving around by themselves with a mask on in their cars if they know the answer. Like, oh no, this is fine. We don't need gloves. Anyway, I recommend gloves. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to say about that. And do your research. Do it. It doesn't take, you don't have to go to a library for 4 hours these days. Just, get off TikTok for like 5 seconds and fucking do just a little bit of research, because we have all got to figure this out. Seriously. If we don't stop them from doing something like this, they're going to do something else. And I do believe that the grand plan is to get rid of a huge portion of humanity. Whether it's because of resources, whether it's because of money, whether it's because, they just don't like us, whether it's, maybe it's a racial issue. And I don't mean black, white race, but I mean like, if all the, top dogs, the elite, they all have type O blood type, maybe they think that that's better, and I actually, as I was doing research, this is weird. I think it was Korea, but don't quote me on that. It was some Asian country that is real big on blood types. Like they even, like on dating sites, they even like, like I'm kind of like into astrology, whatever kind of, I'm like, I would never date certain people of a certain sign. It's terrible. I'm like racist, but astrology, whatever. But no, they do it like with blood types. So instead of, oh, you're an Aries, no way. No, they're like, oh, you're an AB. No, fuck no. They're kind of like that. So the blood type factor is already kind of a thing with certain people. I didn't really think that much of it. I mean, other than this diet that I was going to do. But, so anyway, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about that? Leave some comments. I'm interested. Are you do you think I'm onto something that I should, research this further? Or do you think I'm on something and I should stop being weird? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Thank you for listening. And I hope that this has been enlightening in some sort of way. And I really hope that we can figure out who is trying to destroy us. Okay. Thank you. Bye.